Hello, hello, Hidden Hermit here, and I'm having a look at the Seven of Wands from the She-Wolfe Tarot today. And this is a pretty psychedelic card, especially for the Seven of Wands. So when you think about the Seven of Wands, you think about that sense of valor, that sense of being prepared for challenges, for facing up to those who might contest you and your ideals. And I find that when it comes up in readings, it often symbolises the fact that the querent tends to be right in the situation, and yet there are people arguing with them, disagreeing with them, and there's some sort of open conflicts. I think that's fair. It asks you to tap into a sense of courage and valour, because you're being asked to stand up for what you believe in, and a lot of people call it the stand up for what you believe in card, which makes sense to me. This She-Wolfe depiction of the Seven of Wands, there's a few interesting things going on here. Just take that image in just for a moment. So yeah, there's a lot going on. First of all, it tells us that there's the Mars. Mars is in Leo. There's the Sun, which is of course the planetary ruler of Leo. So Mars in Leo, which I'm sure you can appreciate, is a very fiery nature. And when you think about it, Mars with that sense of force, with the Sun with that sense of expounding your personality, it's actually a pretty good mix. Although one, be it sort of geared towards, I wouldn't necessarily say aggressiveness, although the Seven of Wands could be a marker of aggression at some points, depending on how it comes out in a spread. But yeah, it does kind of give you that idea of force, action, and yeah, there is a sense of conflict. Now, there's some other interesting things going on in this card. So the She-Wolfe, bearing the name she, there are lots of women in this deck, and she's surrounded by this rainbow. She seems to be at rest, and the book does suggest that there's a rest before a coming storm, if you like, which is an interesting facet. I mean, it contextually depends on how it comes out in a spread, and even in the Waite Smith, this chap here is ready for battle, and that battle is imminent. This Seven of Wands kind of suggests that there is a period of preparation for the coming storm, if you like, for the coming conflict. Now, the interesting thing that I think is quite profound in here, you have this shadow planet here. I think it's the shadow side of Mars, and you see this desert landscape at the bottom of the card here. I do find it interesting that the landscape does ape the Waite Smith. It's not a cliff edge in here, it's a desert, but you do have, mostly sky going on around in the card. But you have this shadow Mars down here, and indeed this part of the desert below the Sun is in shadow as well. And the She-Wolfe does have, it doesn't say, good or bad readings, or it doesn't say upright or reverse. It has the shadow side, which would be the reversal, if you like. So you have the light and the dark side, the light and the shadow side. And the book tells us that, well, it asks the question, actually, when it's with the light side, it asks, will we stand up for what we believe in, or will we be passive, which is an interesting question. In my experience, I do believe the Seven of Wands indicates that the conflict is imminent, inevitable, or indeed already happening. And yet the She-Wolfe asks that question. The shadow side, it tells us that sometimes you can be ready for battle, you can put your fists up, and some people will back down when confronted with that, and some people will rise up and face you. The shadow side does indeed kind of give you an idea of aggression. It does, to be fair. I say this a lot about these cards. I say a lot about most cards, but it is an interesting card. The idea of at rest and the portrayal of the shadow, I think, is quite profound and pretty interesting. So the She-Wolfe Tarot, in its little book, every single card comes with a mantra, and the mantra for the Seven of Wands is, I am assertive, not aggressive, nor passive. Which is, I think that's quite a balanced way of looking at the Seven of Wands. Maybe a bit tempered, to be fair, as well, but there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with a bit of temperance every now and then. So yeah, I am assertive, not aggressive, nor passive. That's the Seven of Wands from the She-Wolfe Tarot. Thank you very much.